I recently spent a week with my family at one of my favorite places on the planet, Possum Kingdom Lake in West Texas. It is such a joy and a privilege watching my kids experience lake life at its best. Boating, swimming in the pool, jumping off the dock, fishing, tubing, exploring, and staying up late. One of my favorite things to do when I'm at PK, which is what we call the lake, is to get up early, go for a morning run, and then grab my gear and find a spot to paint outdoors. It was a brutally hot week, reaching over 100 degrees nearly every day, so I had to do most of my outdoor activities in the morning in order to beat the heat. I did a total of 4 paintings, all on different painting surfaces. I really enjoy trying out different papers, sizes, aspect ratios, and surface textures. I'm constantly on the hunt for the perfect plein air setup. I'll be sure to let you guys know if I ever discover it. My first painting on day 1 was of these prickly pear cactus plants growing above a cliff. This unique crescent-shaped cliff sits just behind the family lake house, and I just think it's so beautiful. So for this little painting, I used a 6x9 inch sheet of Arches cold pressed cotton watercolor paper attached to my cheap and lightweight plein air setup. By the way, for more about this setup, check out this video. I started with a careful sketch, then outlined the focal point, these cactus plants, using a waterproof pen. I then used my Sennelier set of 12 half-pan paints to watercolor the drawing. I tried to mimic the look of those rain-stained cliffs by letting my paint drip down the paper. Now, I didn't get a lot of actual video footage during the week because when I'm visiting family, I do try to take a break from filming. Sometimes I really just need a reset to allow myself to paint for the joy of it without the pressure to work and to capture every angle. For my second painting the next day, I hiked down into that canyon behind the house again, and this time I chose a spot where this little creek flows into a branch of the river. Possum Kingdom Lake is on the Brazos River, which is a labyrinth of passages and channels in some areas. Day 2 in Texas, and I'm here right behind my in-laws' house. There's this little creek. You can see this tiny little stream of running water. It leads all the way out to the lake. It's just beautiful back here. So I've got my setup. I'm trying out this new Trekell panel. It's a birch panel that has watercolor paper on it. Got my collapsible water jar, my Sennelier paints, and of course my favorite silver black velvet. These are the Voyage travel brushes. They're so awesome. So yeah, we're gonna try out this setup, and I'm just loving the light reflecting on the water up here. It doesn't look like much in the video, but we're gonna try to make it look better in the painting. We'll see how it goes. I really liked the surface of this Trekell panel. They are sturdy, just like an aqua board, but they're actually a paper surface. So I liked how predictable the watercolor felt when using my favorite techniques like wet and wet. For my third painting, I got up at 6:30 a.m. to get an early start. I drove just a couple miles over to Hell's Gate, where you can actually hike to the top of this iconic rock formation of the lake. I used a block of Fabriano Artistico 140-pound cold-pressed paper for this painting. It was my largest one, 9 by 12 inches. There was a stiff breeze the whole time, so I was a little worried my easel might tip, but it stayed sturdy the whole time. One frustrating thing about the wind was that when I tried using wet and wet to get soft edges for the background and rocks in the shadow, it just dried out so fast. I had to do quite a few layers to get my values dark enough. This one was overall such a joy to paint. There were lots of boats down below and canoes filled with kids from the Boy Scout camp, which is just across the lake. Some of them waved and shouted hi, and one even yelled, "How's your painting going?" It was a fun and just really beautiful atmosphere. On the last day, we were all tired from an afternoon on the lake. Everyone was cooling down in the house, enjoying snacks and drinks, so I snuck outside and found this lovely scene on the deck. To me, this is the perfect snapshot of summer at the lake. I did have to yell at several family members not to sit on my model, but aside from that, this was a fun one to finish out the week. The paper for this one was on an A5 sized Paul Rubens hot pressed paper block. I enjoyed the smoother surface for painting this more detailed and illustrative painting. So here are my 4 completed paintings. I hope you guys enjoyed this little snapshot of my week plein air painting in Texas. Check out these other videos for more info on my favorite plein air supplies, and I'll see you over there.